Good afternoon, fellow Visionary Leadership classmates. My name is Patrick Cain. I'm excited to share with you my professional and personal vision, and more broadly, I think the alignment between the two, because for me, what this class has taught me up to this point is that having a broader holistic vision that encompasses both my personal and professional life really will help yield the greatest alignment in career and in family moving forward, which I think would be critically important. So firstly, the vision statement, which I'll work to unpack through the duration of this presentation. So from a professional standpoint, my vision statement is to help leave organizations in a better position than when I found them, and to do so, meeting every organization where it is and working collaboratively with each client to carve out specific and tailored solutions will be critical. And in order to create and actualize these solutions, having a sense of ingenuity, one, to create the tailored approach, but then also the empathy entailed with change management components of all that I do, which I'll explain a little bit more in just a bit, is going to be critically important. And obviously, to even enact a sense of empathy, listening to those around me and remaining vulnerable myself, so as to adapt changes, adapt recommendations to clients and really sort of learn from each engagement would be critical. The vision statement that I've kind of carved out is not certainly out of thin air, but rather the product values that I carry with me. At this point in my career and personal life, I think the terminal values of a happy family, a purposeful career, and an open-minded, balanced perspective, for me anyways, generate sort of a complete holistic sense of success. The means to those ends, or my instrumental values at this point in time that I'm really looking to harness, are a sense of curiosity, ambition, always trying to grow and learn, carrying with me a sense of humor that I've always sort of carried with me, but really sort of being sort of that human element in the room, I think, is critical. And then finally, a sense of empathy, very much along the same lines as a sense of humor, really bringing a sense of humanity, certainly at home, but definitely in the office and within each client engagement. So the core vision components here, ones that I'll unpack as we work our way through, are collaboration, ingenuity and empathy, and reflection and adaptation. I think collaboration and ingenuity certainly represent the core elements of any unique tailored engagement with my client base. And empathy is so critical as I focus my attention on the change management components of any and all recommendations that I provide and engagements that I carry out with clients. And then as I grow professionally and personally, as a consultant, as a husband, as a father, being able to learn from my mistakes and recognize certainly that I do carry mistakes and there's something to learn from in almost every instance. And then the willingness to adapt and to change my approaches as a result of that growth. So unpacking these a little bit further, professionally, I think now's a good time to really kind of spend 15 seconds explaining what it is that I do. I work as a higher ed software consultant, and we help colleges and universities improve student outcomes, namely graduation rates and throughput, the time to degree, by focusing on the academic schedule. So I help colleges and universities improve their academic scheduling processes via data that our software provides, so that they can better accommodate demand for certain academic programs, and all the while obviously changing perhaps historical processes around scheduling in order to be more data driven. And so, as you might imagine, professionally, I've got a lot of internal and external stakeholders that I'm balancing, and so to be able to collaborate with them on all fronts is so critical to being a team player in the office, but certainly to get the most out of each client engagement. Personally, I've got a wife and children at home, and we need to be collaborative. My wife and I do, in order to be the best parents that we can be for our children, and certainly the best spouse to one another. Speaking of, the sense of ingenuity and empathy, I think, is critical on both fronts, professionally and personally. So, on the ingenuity front, professionally, you might imagine each client engagement is a little different, and so we need to make sure that we're tailoring our consultation, and in doing so, carving out new and unique situations for our clients. At home, the ability to think creatively about how to deal with the 2-year-old temper tantrums, or an infant that just simply won't stop crying, is so critical in order to bring about a sense of peace at home. And both of which, either it be professionally or personally, both engagements must carry a sense of empathy, must be driven by the human factor in order to best reach whichever stakeholder that might be, whether it be professionally or personally. And as I've shared before, all the while making sure that I'm reflective and I'm adapting in each situation. Professionally, there's so much to learn with each client engagement, with each unique context, with each unique stakeholder. And so the ability to listen and to understand the situation for what it is, and to be able to adapt what historically have been certain consultative suggestions to speak to a small community college as opposed to a large 4-year public, for example. Personally, each family situation is different, each family member is different, and I've got to tailor my approaches to meet the personalities of each and every one of my family members in order to make sure that I am the spouse and father that I need to be. At this point in time, there are kind of 4 core contradictions that have outlined: expertise, boldness, the human factor, and vulnerability. Each represent for me an area of potential growth. On the expertise front, I think we could all be better experts, right? But always recognizing that each situation is different, and expertise not only comes about with an expert sense of data analysis, which is a great start, but also understanding each unique context and how to meet clients where they are. Having a boldness to want to grow and recognize those gaps in my current state versus my future state, and capitalize on client relationships or capitalize on new relationships as I seek to grow professionally is going to be so critical. And then, as I've shared on many occasions, the human factor. So understanding professionally the implications of change and seeking partnership to bring about that change. That can be the case either in the office or with a client engagement, or certainly again at home, as I try to be the best partner I can be. And then all the while, if I'm going to be a strong partner, I need to recognize that I, above all others, perhaps are the one that needs to grow more and more. So the confidence to seek that growth, the ability to recognize that I am not at this point in my professional and personal life perfect. I never will be. And balance kind of consultation with curiosity. Don't try to go in and be the expert or the sage in the room, but rather one who wants to listen and engage when only fully understanding the situation at hand. So collectively, I think I'm excited about a vision that encompasses both my professional and personal life, and I'm looking at expounding upon these through the duration of this course.